Good morning, Legacy Bible Church. We are so thankful to have you here today. This has been quite a season for Stephen and myself. He has started his PhD program. We have moved Legacy Bible Church. Our ministry partners have been called to a different direction. So it's Stephen and I now, and all of you who are following us and who are joining us every day, every week. Thank you for doing that. But in addition to that, we have just had a lot of things happening. I had a phone call from one child. She was just crying, so upset about things that were going on in her life. I had another child who needed help with a project that she was working on, and it had a very time-sensitive deadline. And then we had another child who called to say that her car was dead on the side of the road in Alabama as she was driving back to school. So you are not going to have Stephen teaching today because yesterday he got in the car and he started making that long 11-hour drive to Atlanta. I think at about 9 o'clock he stopped in a hotel someplace, and he is meeting up with Jane. And we are very fortunate that we had an extra car, and so that is going to Jane so she can get herself to school and finish out her senior year at SCAD. So all of that has been happening, and I just wanted to ask you, how do you handle stress in your daily life? I can tell you that I can get really spun up and extremely anxious and worried about everything, but when I start praying in the Spirit, it really takes that away. So I have had to lean on that a lot in this last probably 6 weeks, but I have to also share something with you. Yesterday when Stephen was getting in the car to drive to Atlanta, I was really afraid, because there had been so many things that have happened lately that have been unexpected and just I told Stephen the other day, I said, I don't like it when life is hard. And life has gotten hard in the last couple of weeks. So I want to know how you handle when life gets hard. I try and fix it a lot of times, but there are some things that you can't fix. And at that point, that's where I am so on my knees and praying in the Spirit. Now, I wish I could say that my first response is to pray in the Spirit, but my first response is to actually try and fix it and do what I can. And I think I get in the way a lot of times of God being able to work with people that are in my life. So you've heard the term helicopter parent. Well, I have lived my life loving to be helpful. I love to help my kids. I love it when my kids are happy. But you know what? That doesn't allow them an opportunity to have to get on their knees themselves and ask God for help. So this is the extent of our message today. Stephen will be back. Well, actually, this is also to let you know that next week, Stephen is going to be in California visiting his mom. She is over 80 years old, and I will not tell you how old because I don't know that she would appreciate that. Although at this point now, I'm always very happy for the extra year. I wake up and I'm very thankful for breath in my lungs because I know I do not control that. But anyway, he's on his way out to see her, and he's on his way out to see her next week because I am very, very busy with a tournament. So we are not going to broadcast next Sunday. We hope you have a very relaxing, enjoying Sunday with your family. Sleep in, have a picnic, just enjoy each other's company. Go back and listen to the previous messages. We're going to pick up in 2 weeks at 1 John, and I believe that would be at 1:4 or 1:5. I should have checked that first. But we'll be back, and next week, if I can get it figured out, I'm going to try and repost yesterday's or last week's message so that you have an opportunity to look at that again if you want to tune in. But be very, very blessed. Be thankful for the little things. There are all of the things that happened. I could dwell, a lot of people could dwell on the bad things, but when my daughter called and she was very sad and had some news to share with me, God had really been preparing my heart. But one of the options that I thought she was calling to tell me was that she had melanoma and that it had metastasized because she's already had melanoma. So the news that she shared with us was really great news because she doesn't have cancer. So there's lots of things. You know, Janie is stuck on the side of the road, but my goodness, we have an extra car. What a blessing that is. She had a friend that was 2 hours away that came to pick her up. How wonderful is that? She's in the middle of Alabama. I don't know anybody in Alabama. So I want to encourage you as you go through your life to look at the blessings that are there. Don't look at the problems. Look at the blessings. When people wonder where God was, I know where God was. God was fighting the demons on our behalf. So we don't know what would have happened if God hadn't been there on our behalf. So things might be tough right now, but know that God is battling for you, and that also that rhema, that spiritually spoken worship, that does bring God down into earth, and that's His word that is being spoken. I hope and pray that all of you are very blessed this week. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for walking this walk with us as we really believe that this is what God has called for us. It would be a lot easier if we were just sitting in a pew listening to another teacher, but that's not what He has for us. So if He's got you listening to us, thank you very much. We appreciate your faithfulness. So thank you for coming today, and we're going to go out and have some breakfast early. Thank you, everybody. Be blessed. See you in 2 weeks, and tune in next week for last week's message. Bye-bye.